All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are today playing some Baldursgate 3. Currently was playing it last night. I know I said I was going to stream. However, last night I happened to get on with Graph, and we were playing the Baldursgate together. So I just forgot to stream it. But yeah, so we're going to continue off where we left off the last time we played, which we were in some underground cave system. We're looking for somebody, trader's wife, or trader's husband, sorry. So let's just, I guess, kick it off from there, huh? We are listening to Critical Role Campaign 3, Episode 7, Behind the Curtains. You guys enjoy this kind of video, go ahead and like it down at the bottom. Leave a comment. Tell me what you guys are thinking about. And yeah, we're going to keep it rolling here with the Critical Role. I enjoy listening to it. It gives me a little background ambiance, if you will. So let's go ahead and get started.
And welcome back. So last we left off, this troop of adventurers having lost a friend, avenged a friend, and really setting off to discover what the next wave of mysteries before them were worth pursuing, decided to follow one thread that was mentioned by Lord Eric's Astaroth to the Dreamscape Theater, where apparently a series of disappearances he had heard rumored were occurring or had occurred in recent weeks around the establishment. Gathering your things, you headed further into the core spire of Drusar to the Dreamscape Theater proper. You acquired tickets and found yourself a nice box seat on the left-hand upper side of the theater, preparing for a performance of a troupe referred to as Kendra's Flying Lauders. Which, it's great when you make up stuff and afterward go like, oh, I don't know what I'm figure that out.
Bring in the otters.
But as you all have your seats, it seemed that Dorian was pulled aside. Somebody requested a conversation in which an individual named Cyrus made themselves seen, and a brief, intense conversation ensued in the stairwell beneath before you returned to the box seat as the show was about to begin. And so here, within the steadily darkening interior of the Dreamscape Theater, you have a few moments to prepare before the performance of the afternoon. What would you like to do?
And Dorian's rejoined, right?
I think right now Dorian is returning.
Everything okay?
Did you go get refreshments?
Popcorn. No, I forgot. Sorry, just...
Who was it? Who wanted you to come down there?
Oh,
that's right, it was a patron.
yeah, it was just someone who recognized me from a show, and we chit-chatted for a little bit. I used the restroom, and I'm excited to see the Flying Lauders, was it?
I think it's otters.
Like the...
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
They just throw them around the stage.
I don't know. Let's hope.
Quick insight check on that.
It's otters. They're French. You just say otters.
Oh,
Make a deception check if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
9.
Oh, cocked.
Jack.
Oh, fuck. 8.
Oh!
Alright.
Okay. At this point, the last bit of lights begin to vanish, and you can see the small cylindrical devices that are affixed to the far upper right and left of the interior walls of the chamber begin to alight brighter as you see the stage, the curtains begin to steadily open as the music from the pit below begins to pick up a bit. And with that, you can see the audience begins to hush as performers begin to come to the stage. You can see what looks to be a troupe of about 6 acrobats begin to emerge and bow as the music begins to swell a bit. As a few people's eyes like, I thought it was going to be otters! Shh. But everyone prepares as they begin to release themselves into a flurry of flips and backhand springs and tosses into the air. A brilliant display of physical prowess. Back and forth across the stage, you're waiting for the moment till they collide, and they do not, it seems. They do not. It goes pretty damn well. There's a few moments where you find yourself clutching the wood on the edge of your chairs, uncertain if this is safe or going to end poorly. But with extreme speed and a practiced capability, you watch as they finish their first flurry of their gymnastics routine. And what you thought was a resonant kind of chant that was rhythmic from an unseen chorus, you notice at this point is coming from the performers as they undergo their display. As they finish for their bow, you can see their mouths moving in unison as this low chant that's being spoken and sung amongst them is the other half of their performance.
Oh, it's weird. Now, this is... Feels like they're summoning something.
I'm watching the audience if I can.
Make a perception check.
9.
Was it?
9.
Nine. It's hard to see. Really low lights now at this point. Attention's kind of at the stage. Then you hear the pushing of wheels as a large seesaw-like device is brought to the center stage. And there you watch as they begin to gather from side to side, where there are now ladders being placed on the sides, the curtains pulled back further, the lights and colors change and shift. And as they all begin to take their places at the side, one by one, they begin to leap from the sides onto one side of the saw and catch the other, and flip and rotate and catch off of bars that you didn't even notice were fixed higher onto the stage. With that, you watch as the energy begins to rise, and as they're doing this, the song changes. Now they're vocalizing a harmony, and as it progresses, you can't help but feel enraptured by this combination of physical capability and musical prowess. And nothing bad happens. It's going great without it. The audience is in hushed gasps and whispers and cheering and shh, and just this constant cycling of reactionary sounds and exclamations from the people in the dark shaded space before you. You can see as at one point they seem to have stopped on the seesaw, and then 3 individuals climb up and at once leap off in unison and slam onto one side. The impact of the wood onto the stage is so loud that you see people in the front row kind of cover their ears, and you're sure some of the wood may have cracked. As on the opposite side, one individual is thrown out of sight, up and beyond the curtains.
He's dead.
Where'd he go?
He died.
Oh my gosh.
Off the other side and caught by their friends and placed onto the stage. All their voices begin to come to a close as the one that was caught and landed comes out with this beautiful falsetto. And everyone kind of goes, okay, that was weird, but good on you. And they cheer. And when their third act, they pull away this odd seesaw, and you watch as swings descend from above the stage, what looks to be a set of 3 trapeze. And utilizing these same ladders, you can hear that falsetto voice that ended the last act is now brought up by the other performers into an angelic chorus. It almost feels like some sort of odd worship adjacent like musicality that fills the chamber, echoing and swelling in this beautiful sound that feels almost like it requires reverie, but the energy of them climbing is palpable as they leap and swing and grasp and spin. Not so great. One of them misses the swing. Onto the wood. There's a pause. The other performers turn and look. They get up. Into a display, arms out. Big cheers, big cheers. And as they're cheering, they bow and quietly exit the stage, holding their back. It is.
Whenever it's quiet, I'm just wrestling with a paper bag of some sort. That person in the audience.
Hard candies.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Lots of Werthers. Damn you, Werthers.
The performance picks up into this final act for a moment, but you can see there's like a general nervousness amongst them. They seem to almost come to a close of the performance. The musicality of their voices now introducing an element of discomfort and curiosity amongst them. They end it rather abruptly and then leave the stage. There's some clapping.
Brava! Is that the end? I positive in the end.
That's what my hands sound like.
That's
A
great.
few moments pass beyond what would have been roughly a 25 to 30 minute performance. You watch as a half-elf man comes out onto the stage dressed in impeccable tails, with broad shoulders that come to an extravagant point that curve ever so slightly at the edges. This kind of deep blue velvet with what looks to be almost like a leopard pattern interior that just drifts past the back of his outfit. He has these tight, faintly striped, like green and brown pants that go down to these immaculate boots. And
Striped horizontally or vertically, just for reference.
horizontally.
Okay.
A large smile, and this toothy grin that he wears. He is have long and chiseled of complexion that looks to be maybe in his early 50s or so, but handsome and holds on to it well. You see his dark complexion and amber hair that is slicked back slightly to one side, and this pencil mustache that glides just over the upper lip. He steps out. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the matinee.
I think you're supposed to.
Hello. We hope you enjoyed this performance of Kendra's Flying Larders. There are no refunds, but have a wonderful night, and hope to see you again. A good night. And he exits the stage. There's a few claps and some whispering, rustling.
Something happened.
Why did you specify no refunds? Feels like that's very specific.
I think the show ended rather early.
That's a weird way to close a show. That's like
Maybe that one performer was hurt.
Very hurt.
Can we look down in the audience? Are the lights coming up at all?
The lights are beginning to come up. You can see the oil lanterns are now being turned up by the ushers as they move through the audience, and you can make out the details of people now beginning to shift from their seats talking. They look a bit confused. Some folks are leaving. Some folks are excitedly talking about what they had just seen. You can gauge their experience.
Does
in
anyone
various...
look especially distressed in the audience?
Not in particular. Okay. Not running off of your...
Well,
the lights are up now. I'd say roll another perception check.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh! 20!
Oh! You don't see anyone specifically distressed by any means, just a lot of confusion.
Okay.
These are all, paying patrons of the arts, and there just seems to be not unlike some of you up there in the box that you paid quite a decent amount for, a bit of frustration at the brevity of the performance for the night. But people are beginning to exit and make their way beyond and out of the theater. What would you like to do?
Is this standard fare for the theater?
I think you said it did feel a little short. Yeah.
I think it would have been better with otters, honestly.
Yes, I do too. Can you imagine them doing that flippy thing at...
So cute.
I mean, they're really. You ever see one of them? They smash open the clamshell.
They can do, like, juggling. Yeah.
They
I
hold
did like when the
hands.
person fell, though. Oh. Exciting. It's specifically and was caught or fell and was not caught? Just fell. Anyway, what were you going to say? What if we could say, having spent so much money on these particular seats, we could say that, we were enamored with the performance and wanted to congratulate the performers in person. A lot of times when people, spend a lot of money on something, they're granted extra perks, right?
Backstage pass or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm sure we could ask.
we need to go backstage. I smell money.
Worst that could happen is they say no, right? Let's give it a shot.
And then we just do it without permission.
How do we do it? Do we go up and we're like, ooh, we paid money?
I feel like
Demands.
Dorian should probably say something, just because
Oh.
he's the one that asked for the seats, after all.
I suppose we try to flag down the attendant. All right. I'm gonna peek my head out the curtain and look down the hallway. Do we see anybody around, or?
It's a little staircase that leads down just beyond the box where you are, because you guys are elevated. But even looking over the side, you can see there are 3 ushers that are kind of working their way through. One of which is Siren, the Dragonborn that had previously both brought you to your seats and retrieved you for your encounter before the performance.
We could just say we were offered a backstage tour with the box seats.
A little fib.
You're gonna lead with a lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty harmless.
Why don't we all go at once? Like, sort of
Yeah,
gonna lie, like a little bit of
Give it a little pressure.
pressure. That's it.
I like
Man.
that.
Who's the most convincing liar?
I could try.
Yeah.
You look respectable.
Yeah, I think you do. You look respectable.
Yeah.
I take a quick peek over the balcony's edge. Is it cleared out some? Is it?
It's cleared out some, but people are taking their time. Some individuals are almost hoping that there's going to be an encore performance. Others probably just have back issues and are taking their, I speak from experience, taking their time, to exit and then... exactly.
Sure. We head down? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Walk up to that usher.
Okay, you can see you're in the process of like picking up elements of ticket scraps and other bits of looks to be almost like now empty
Need to stay focused.
discardable bottles, people that had snuck in. And he just kind of shakes his head for a minute before looking up. Hi.
Hello. We were just wondering what entrance it is we were supposed to use.
Oh, the exit is...
Oh, not the exit. No, the entrance to the backstage.
Oh, there isn't... You're not allowed to go.
Oh, we got special permission on account of being such esteemed patrons.
He said, go to the proscenium, walk down the Vom, and you'll be right there, something like that.
Who said this?
What was that? The littler one?
When we first met.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, me either.
Describe them. Maybe I know.
Smallish.
Oh, a halfling.
Yvonne?
Yep,
Maybe.
that's the one.
Stuva.
Oh no, Stuvan's the.
Oh.
No.
Oh, you know what? It might have been him after all. Yeah.
Make a deception check. I would have given you advantage, but a few people chimed in there as opposed to just the two of you. So.
It was the two faces of the group.
Well.
And suddenly it was the group.
Fair.
Oh, that's not
13. 13.
13. I apologize, but I
Do you need to
should.
check with someone?
I think I do.
All
Just
right.
wait here. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure. Was it Stuvag you said?
You know,
No,
I
I
can't be
don't
sure
think
that's his
that's what it
actual
was,
name. No,
actually.
he was smaller. You know, she has a bad memory.
I forget. I jumble letters together and
It
could
was
have been
sounded
like
like
halfling
you know.
ticket taker.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes,
All
there
right.
is.
I'll go ahead.
According to these notes,
He kind of exits past you and begins shuffling off to
if
the
you could
front.
hurry, because we're on a tight schedule.
And he exits through the exit into the main area there.
Well, that could have gone better.
Sneak in.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, let's just sneak in. I'm very sorry. I thought that the name popped in my head, and then I realized
great.
it wasn't it.
You did great.
Who's Devon?
I don't remember.
Stevan's the fellow who just made the speech at the end of the show.
Oh, that is it. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, that could have worked.
That could have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Is there a entrance
Yeah,
backstage?
stage entrance. Is there a stage door?
From this point, you don't see an immediate entrance to the stage.
Just go on the stage and go.
Yeah,
can.
Yeah, you know how it works.
Is there anybody in the room?
Yes, there's probably about 40 other patrons that haven't exited yet.
No,
Should we make them
we can
leave?
create a distraction.
Oh,
I'm sure we can come up with something.
I got it.
Oh,
And I cast Thaumaturgy.
Sure.
And then from backstage, you hear, fire! Fire! Everybody leave! Fire!
oh God! In a literal open theater.
Living the dream.
And then Thaumaturgy again, you start to smell smoke. You start to smell smoke. Yeah.
Okay.
Thaumaturgy one more time. Looks like smoke.
Jesus, thaumaturgy is the greatest spell ever.
Stretching the limits a little bit of thaumaturgy here with this. It's a cantrip. But it's enough to get a few people's attention. I take it this is the instantaneous sound.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a phrase necessarily, so fire is about as much as you can get out with it. So you're fire. From backstage? From backstage? Uh-huh. All right. People immediately begin to get up and grab their things and usher up fire. Did you hear fire? There's a fire. They begin to exit with haste.
We should move. We should move. Let's move.
Onto the stage and backstage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like you all to make a stealth check if you're doing this quietly.
Oh, God, what are we doing?
Oh boy.
Try help with this.
Is it?
Nah.
20.
18.
Whoops.
18?
21.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
What's that? Squeaky wheel.
We have to lift him up.
This is a. Don't use that dice again because I can't tell what.
3.
No, it's not a. It can't be a 3. It's
That's a 3.
backwards.
Because that's
Why would you use this die ever?
Because sometimes it rolls amazing,
I respect
and other
that.
times there's
You
no in
can't tell
between
what
with it.
1 out of
number.
20.
I didn't do it well. It's a 5.
Okay, fine. What'd you get, Imogen?
23.
I rolled a 20.
A 20?
23.
23?
7.
Okay. Thankfully, there was some distraction in there.
I am fury. I am death.
And overall, more successes than failures. Even though a few people probably watched you go on stage, they don't necessarily give a shit. Because they're either worried about the fire or like, how uncouth, and just keep moving. But you do scoot up into the wings of the stage, past the curtains, and immediately back there you can see there is a stagehand there. It looks to be some of the performers are in the process of kneeling and helping kind of get cushions under the one that fell during the performance, who looks like they're injured, but it's not like grievous by any means. They're just like, they don't notice you. Except for the half-elf man who finished the performance, who, as you come through the curtain, is literally standing right there in front of you as you push through. Who would have been at the front of the pack, leading the charge into the backstage?
I'll go first. Maybe they lifted me on the stage first, let's say.
Okay, so as you cruise by, and to the side, you almost run straight into the sternum of this man. He stops, puts a hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry. What are you?
Oh, hi, I'm Fresh Cut Grass.
You're not supposed to be here.
Oh, I was very concerned about your performer who had an injury and wanted to come back and offer my services. I'm a bit of a medicine bot.
Odd dress for a medicinally trained individual. Costumes are always welcome, but I believe me when I say that we have it under control. And you hear, "Ugh!" And you see them like helping the performer up and kind of like stretching a bit. You can see someone has administered some kind of numbing agent to the space where they kind of impacted on their butt.
Oh, I don't want to disagree with you. It seems like you do have everything in hand, but I think I could help that performer feel better much quicker.
He is quite a talented medical practitioner.
Take a persuasion check.
Sure. 13.
13. The person that you've sussed out at this point is Stuvan. Gives you a look.
Try me.
Well, I'm certain it wouldn't hurt at the very least. Make way, we have a curious self-professed healer who's arrived and kind of like guides you past, and then looks over you. I'm sorry, this is not an exit. You have to go the other way.
Oh, of course, we're just with him. We just had to accompany our associate.
Self-professed healer.
We really enjoyed the show.
Yeah,
too,
you're
by
lucky
the way.
we had such esteemed boxes where we were sitting that we could
is
see
that where you were sitting?
the view.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And you like has forgotten entirely about you and the harmed individual and is now engaged in this like, well, really any time. There is a membership that you could actually acquire that will allow cheaper seats throughout the seasons.
What else do you have airing the rest of the season?
Oh, well, I have to go ahead and get my repertoire out of my office here in a bit, but
We'd love to accompany you.
make a persuasion check.
Come on. Just get
I
one
believe
more.
in you.
Come on.
Oh, okay. 22.
Oh.
Hey.
And kind of looks at you, looks at Dorian in particular over the dress and goes, Certainly, that can be arranged. Just a moment, please. In the meantime,
I'm rolling over and I'll just assess the situation. Is this performer hurt badly?
Make a medicine check.
15 plus 5, 20.
Taking a glance at how they're holding themselves, the physicality of how they're adjusting their weight to compensate, you get the sense that probably this might be a fractured tailbone.
End the game.
Not okay.
So not serious, but definitely not
awful.
enjoyable by any means.
I'd much rather be.
I couldn't help but notice that you're injured. Do you mind if I touch you and
What are you?
I can only help you. I promise. I'm designed to help you.
Kind of looks to the other members, and this up close, you get a glance. You can see that there is a familial thread between everybody here. There definitely is. This is like a family of performers.
Stuvan said that I was welcome back here.
All right, I guess if you can help.
This will only take a second, but I'll have to touch your backside if that's all right with you.
That is fine.
Okay. Just turn over a little bit.
The nerves begin to definitely creep up into their expression.
You'll be fine.
No.
I will gently lay my hand on their back and cast Cure Wounds.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll.
Let's see, D8. Not great. 5 hit points.
That's not bad.
For a busted ass.
There was a sound. And they go, ah! And then you watch everyone else all of a sudden reach forward and grab it for you, like, what the fuck are you doing? Before they go, huh. Hold on. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Well, there was just a little alignment issue that we had
Apparently.
to fix.
Oh, wow. Thank you, small metal thing. You have been very helpful.
Oh, it was a fantastic show. I'm sorry you took a spill there, but before, you were just incredible. Flying through the air like that.
Just remarkable.
Well, it is a family affair here. We are only as good as we are as a whole.
You're all related to each other?
More or less.
Wow.
I take it there was more to the show.
There was, but, have to take care of ourselves first.
So great. How long have you been in the business?
Well, and looks over, and you can see there's the older woman of the troupe. Just kind of steps forward. You can see she's in her probably early 50s, but fitter than anyone you've seen in their 20s for the most part. Kind of comes forward with a discerning glance, and it's kind of at this point now you can see the protectiveness, kind of the matronly protectiveness kick in as they begin to look through you and take in both of you with as much of an instant read as they can. He goes, "My name is Kendra, and this is my family. We have been doing this for about 15 years together, and we will continue to do it until I drop or the rest of us do."
Wow. So you're the head honcho.
They all kind of like look at her, look back at you.
Cool.
I thank you very much for helping my son.
It's my absolute pleasure. And I can't wait to see your next show.
And she looks over, and the younger performer that you helped goes, "It may be sooner than we were discussing." She goes, "Well, you need to rest regardless, just to make sure. Anyway, it is appreciated."
We could actually maybe use your help for something, since we're back here.
I'm not sure what we could be helpful for, but tell me.
We do need a little information. There have been some rumors flying around about people disappearing from the theater. We're just kind of looking into that a little bit.
They all kind of glance at each other, and Kendra goes, "I cannot say I've heard of such rumors. We've only been in town for about a week."
So you're a traveling show?
We are, yes.
Oh, how long are you in residence at this theater?
Only for 2 more weeks.
And you've only been here a week?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
On that note, Orem is going to fade back while everyone's talking to them. And just out of curiosity, check out the house again and see if anyone's lingering.
You got it. Roll perception.
Can I also ask where Stuvan is in relation to all of this? Because I
Well, Stuvan,
kind of lost track.
while this conversation and healing is happening, Stuvan was kind of talking with you guys up until the point where you wanted to
damn,
re-engage.
what is with her?
In which case, he would have followed. He wants to stay nearby. He definitely seems invested in
dude.
these sudden arrivals that are going to possibly drop more money onto the performances.
I'll kind of fade back with Orem, just be a second set of eyes with him as well.
Okay, so perception check.
22.
22? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Assistance.
I was. I'm always at advantage.
That's a secret. He's always at advantage.
No, yeah.
Perception in the game and life.
And boom! Catch your ass on fire.
You see most patrons leave but one. So in the far, far back, kind of to the side of the exit, you see one. It's kind of hard to see this distance, but they're wearing a hood indoors, which is
Really cool.
remarkable.
Super cool.
It's awesome.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
It's every online role-playing character from the late 90s.
Ladna. Look off in the corner there.
Ooh,
See that creeper?
spooky creeper.
It's right about then that they exit, after the other patrons.
What do you think?
Probably nothing.
I don't have anything that's gonna help.
Shall we follow?
When you put it like that. Let's go.
All right.
Kendra.
As we leave, I just go send a message. Imogen, be right back.
And I'll send back, starting a connection. All right, let me know for 4 minutes what's going on.
Just hamster dance plays in the background of her messages.
All of Imogen's messages are accompanied by banjo play.
I'll talk to production, see if we can make it happen.
No.
Apparently not even funny.
While that's transpiring and Stuvan is beginning to approach the group, Kendra's kind of talking to us. Your best bets in asking about any sort of recent things would be the owner, and points over to Stuvan, who steps and goes, what about me? Kendra goes, they're asking about, there have been disappearances. And Stuvan goes, that's preposterous. I mean, there are those people that leave the performances early because whether they are unappreciative of the art we present or drunkards. There have been no disappearances.
Is there a particular section where people often leave? Maybe that seat in the house doesn't get the best view or something.
Do
I'm
not
going to
worry,
cast Detect Thoughts as I ask that.
That is going to be a 16. What's your DC?
Fuck, 14.
You still catch surface thoughts, right?
Or
is it only? Is the
Yeah, I
deep
think you only have to roll.
Yeah,
if
you
want
only
deeper.
roll if I'm prying. Yeah,
Right.
I'll catch surface thoughts. Yes, regardless.
surface thoughts you catch is an immediate beat of recognition to fear to curiosity, and a thought of like, what? Huh? And it goes, Kendra, take your family to rest. You've had a very intense past hour. But well done, everyone. Have a good night. We should talk.
Let's finish this.
All right, we'll follow. In your offices?
If you don't mind, just follow me, please.
Do you want me to take care of the other kids, or do you want some muscle here?
I don't think we'll need muscle, but it's up to you.
We should all stick together.
Well,
You having two not here, but all
Orm
right.
and Laudna are off. Orm's pretty capable. And
All right.
Laudna's got things covered.
Off to where? Where'd they go?
They followed someone. And I'll just ask Laudna, where exactly were you going?
I saw a creepy guy in the corner.
They saw a creepy guy in the corner.
Just giving him a look-see.
What did he look like? Can you ask her what?
What did he look like exactly? Laudna? What did he look like exactly?
Oh, you had a really cool cloak.
Cloak? What color was it?
What color was it?
It was hard to see in the kind of the low house lights that weren't super bright at this distance, but you did roll pretty high, so you would know. It would have been like a dull gray.
Okay.
In fact, now that the question comes up again and you think about it, it's not unlike an individual that you saw when you had a run-in with the Corsairs.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, it was something that they saw at the Corsairs.
So I asked when I perceived in the wings the Corsair, was he cloaked? Or did he have a hood?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pulled the hood back before revealing himself.
Okay.
Looks like we got a friend ahead. Not a friend.
I don't know. We could be friends.
Could be.
So
Ron
you both.
thinks they might be friends. I'm not sure.
Unlikely. I saw someone earlier, sort of lurking in the wings.
Oh. You saw lurkers?
I didn't know what to think of it at the beginning. I thought maybe it was part of the act, or I saw it and it just sort of, I don't know, it's distracted. And anyway, yeah, I think it was from someone from the Corsairs.
Keep us posted, Lon.
Will do.
Man, talking to her just always makes me feel so warm and fuzzy.
In the interim, while you two are, I would like you both, one, to make a stealth check as you are pursuing this individual.
Fail me? All right. 17.
16.
16. Okay, got it. While you guys begin to pursue carefully out of the chamber, the rest of you follow Stuvan out of the wings of the theater into a hallway, into a switchback staircase that leads to a second floor on the level of where the rafters would have been. And a little further back, you can see there is a nice kind of dark mahogany door that has these intricate carvings of the comedy and tragedy masks that are kind of mingled in with tree leaves and what looks to be almost like a relief composition of Drusar's spires in a simplistic way. Following into the interior, it's not a massive office by any means. It's quite cluttered with the furniture that's there, and it has, you'd see a lot of collected antique furniture that has been used to fill most of the space here, almost to ensure that anybody that's entering and stepping at the edge of the desk to greet him is uncomfortably pressed into proximity. So the five of you pushing in there is very much kind of shoulder to shoulder as Stuvan steps around to the other side of his desk and sits down, crosses one knee over the other, places his hands on the edge. If you wouldn't mind closing the door for me, please. Thank you.
Welcome.
So, you're asking about disappearances. Where did you hear about this?
All over. Everybody's talking about it.
Make a deception check.
Just everybody.
Help me strike true. 12.
Really? Everyone?
I mean, I don't know everyone in the city. Just, I mean, I think that was more of a general statement. Where did we hear about it? I can't.
It's come up a lot. I mean, honestly, the fact that we're even here should have you a little worried.
Oh, I'm quite curious as to what your intent is asking these questions.
Only to help you out.
Really? Just a few deep-pocketed strangers come and see one of our matinee performances and decide out of the goodness in their heart that they're going to look into some disappearances that apparently have been rumored by everyone.
Isn't it?
Wouldn't you?
Much.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be more suspicious if penniless, desperate people appeared at your door wanting to know about this stuff?
So smart.
It is possible there are good people in the world.
sits back and thinks for a second. You kind of take in the garish office. You can see all sorts of baubles and posters of performances past that are like plastered along the walls. You can see Esmer and the Child of Light across the Osmit, under a ruddy night. The Calamity, an interpretive dance history of Exandria's greatest tragedy.
I want to see that.
To Kill a God, the Scanlan Short Halt one-man show. Like, it's all manner of various performance posters from throughout the years have been collected and are on display. Some seem to have maybe caught a bit of like moldy corners at the edges, but nevertheless, it is definitely a collection of keepsakes for one man who is desperately trying to keep this theater what he wants it to be.
You've been in business for a long time.
Oh, I've been in business for not enough time, but we're working on it. Look, I love it with you. If you are indeed here to help, it's not like you're going to do any more than the Wilders, wardens have not done, than to just pressure me with questions. Yes, we've had some disappearances. Don't know why, and I'm a bit frustrated that anyone I've spoken with has turned up with no answers, and a lot of eyes seem to be on me.
How long have they been going on?
About 3 weeks ago was the first disappearance of our previous janitor. His name is Usha Breck.
Say that again one more time.
Our previous janitor, Usha Breck, a very nice, older halfling gentleman who'd been working here for over 10 years. Quiet, kept to himself, but was a good worker, I didn't interact with him too much, but he just sort of vanished. We thought maybe he just quit. Maybe he decided to move on. So we didn't think anything of it. I replaced the position. It was fine. 2 weeks ago, we had a performance troupe come through known as the Diamond Mask. One of the performers, a half-giant actor who played not the lead, but one of the supporting roles, named Sino, then vanished. The troupe began to ask questions. I, of course, have no answers, but, performers, they can be flaky.
Were these happening during the shows, or...?
To my knowledge, these disappearances were not noticed until either intermission or some point after the night's festivities. But 2 performances is a little odd. Or 2 disappearances. Within that same week, we had 2 patrons vanish. Mrs. Eden Codswell and Mr. Emir Lioto. Both, well, often at the same box that you currently took up seats in this night.
Oh, wow.
But they disappeared. No one noticed until their family came around asking the next day. They're separate families.
What was the second gentleman's name?
Mr. Emir Lioto. They, apparently were last seen here for a performance for the night.
And this was that same troupe, the Diamond Masks, were performing during that time?
They did bring the understudy, believing that Sino, the performer, may have just absconded. So they were finishing out their run, and that's when these patrons apparently disappeared the night they were seeing the show. 1 week ago, we had an occasional patron named Yaden. I do not know his last name. Not very well off. Occasionally scrounged up the money for one of our backseat tickets. Younger gentleman. He apparently vanished as well. And friends of his began to ask similar questions. So that's when I really began to take notice. My nerves began to fray a bit and began to do my own internal investigations. But it's very hard to maintain focus while also trying to run a business. And it's about this time that word got to the wardens, and they began to poke around, to no avail other than, well, beginning to make very presumptuous statements in and at my presence. And then 3 days ago, a young woman who was one of our rotating bartenders here at the theater, named Lydney Osadala, she vanished. And she's the most recent. So we're now looking at a total of 6 people who have disappeared in the period of 3 weeks. And I'm growing anxious and worried. So if you're looking to help, what do you have?
Well, first of all, can I just say that sounds tragic and horrible, and I'm sorry that you had to go through all this, shouldering this burden of guilt and all by yourself. But we can help. We've been pretty good about finding people who either don't want to be found or have been lost themselves so far. We're 1 for 1, right?
Are you investigators? What is your trade, if I might ask? You look a bit, and I mean this with nothing but the utmost respect. In this light, you look a bit patchwork.
We are intentionally as such. We're kind of a jack of all trades troupe. Everyone brings something.
So what are you looking for? The adoration of the innocence of Drusar? Are you looking to make a name for yourself? Or are you just wanting a payday?
Like many performers, we also have a patron, and he just wants to do some good in the world, so we're here to please him.
Leans forward, getting a little darker in the face. So you were sent here by someone. Who sent you, if I might ask?
Keep a blade close. We're not really at liberty to discuss that. I, for one, can say I'm excited to be a patron of the local arts in any way I can.
My faith will guide me.
We're not fully under his wing as of yet, so we only take jobs that appeal to our nature.
So, just out of the goodness of your own heart.
That hard to believe, huh?
Sometimes.
Did something dig this?
But we are purveyors of stories of hope here.
No traps, please. Half this
And even in
body
this
is crushed.
old,
Must have fallen from pretty high.
long-dragged gut of mine, I would like to think there are individuals out here that wish to make a difference.
A perfect ring of mushrooms. Nature.
But you also
magic.
want money, yes.
If it happens, it happens. All of these people that went missing, what type of show was it? A matinee, an evening? Was it all sorts?
They all seem to be evening performances, if I recall.
All right.
Or at least the disappearances
And
were
there-
noticed by the next morning.
All right. Any particular nights in general?
There we go.
There wasn't a pattern, if that's what you're asking. It's a bit scattershot on which days it happened.
All right.
And just to make sure that we have all of our geese in a row.
Probably sitting here going like, you take so many.
You didn't have
goddamn
anything to
long
do
rests.
with it.
Your campaign would never be done.
Absolutely not.
You would be right by saying
I'm too busy
Let me amigos.
to commit anything as foul.
Did you build this structure yourself, or do you buy it already after it was built?
A little bit of both. I purchased it in a simpler state and expanded it, unleashing its potential.
And do you have an underground storage in this theater?
We do.
Would you mind if we took a look around there?
Kind of glances back at the 5 of you again. You've been rather quiet. What's your specialty in this strange troupe?
Humble bard. You know, a few jokes.
You're a performer. Are you a performance troupe? Are you trying to use this to get yourself an audition?
No. We all come from various backgrounds and found our way
Because
together.
I would respect the hustle.
Well, maybe once we've found...
I want nothing less than to be on a stage. No offense.
Nope.
Okay, that clarifies something.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh, really?
Well, it just sounds fun. It looked fun. They were all up there getting clapped at and stuff.
Well, maybe after all this is done, we can look at Dorian and FCG and Fern, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would love to perform as well.
Ashton?
Oh boy. Nope. Oh no.
We'll watch from the wings.
Very well. Yes, I will notify the staff that you are here under my business to ask questions. And the staff would probably have better answers to your questions than I would, since I don't really directly deal with most of these individuals of interest.
2 quick ones then. 3 quick ones then.
Throw in a 4th while you're at it. What do you want?
Oh, 4 then. Well, first, do you know about any secret entrances, weird trapdoors that may exist in the building, connecting to the center of the core spire, etc.?
No, the only trapdoors we have are to the stage, and those are specifically just to go under the stage.
We'll keep an eye on Ashton, for sure.
2, is there anyone working here who worked here before you got here?
No, I am the oldest one.
3, it's possible
Not to point out that a lot of our employees are also very young, so...
Sometimes there's someone who remembers something that's, way back there. These buildings are weird. And is it possible to get an address for that janitor that disappeared at some point? That would be where I'd want to start looking once we've scavenged the theater.
If I'm going to be entirely honest, I have no idea where he lives.
That's fair.
Maybe we can ask some of the people in front. The staff might know.
Yeah, I might.
Also, you might want to let your staff know that we are A-okay to be here.
I will do so. I'll do it now, actually. Please exit my quarters.
Before we go, just one quick question for me, just based on what we were talking about before.
That isn't a costume, is it? What are you?
And you can see now he leans in real close and starts inspecting me, kind of looking over the lens-like eyes and pardon me, poking the metallic face.
You know what? I don't honestly know, but I think I was built to be helpful. But I was really curious about what you said before. How do you get into acting? Do you take a class, or do I need an agent of some sort? I'm sure you get this question a lot.
I do, please.
Particularly with the voice. People say I sound really cool. And I think that's all I really need.
Get out!
I'm going to slowly grab fresh cut grass and drag them out of the room.
Out!
No. This is actually important. We have a couple of companions who are out right now on an errand, but they will be joining us here shortly, I assume. A small man named Orm, he's a halfling, very agile, brown hair, and a wonderful friend, her name is Laudna. She is
partially dead, yeah.
She can be intimidating in her presence.
Dark hair, beautiful.
Fine,
gorgeous.
great.
Rotting.
Has a rat.
I will notify the staff, just leave.
Thank you. Orm, Laudna. They're joining us.
Very well.
Wait,
Lorman got it.
one more just for clarification. You said that people wouldn't notice that they were missing until the next morning?
Or sometimes intermission.
Or sometimes intermission.
Or sometimes intermission. Most of the individuals that disappeared, I actually don't know the specifics. You might need to ask around.
The half-giant, the performer, was that in the middle of a show that he went missing, or at the end of it?
That was afterward.
Okay.
Do you have you run the whole ship. Do you have a stage manager or someone who oversees what's going on?
I have 2 individuals that help me manage the length and breadth of the establishment that are my right-hand helpers. There's Tefta. She handles most of the business and financials with me. And there is Ocampo,
Ocampo?
previously a performer, but has now become one of my stage managers and helps run the ship.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Reaches over and you can see kind of off to the side there is an odd conical device that is affixed to the left-hand wall, kind of leans into it. There is an odd trope, and you hear an echoing through, and you now notice this is like a strange connecting series of audio tubes. A strange troop of 7 odd individuals that have my permission to wander the premises. Help them if you can.
An easy fix, hopefully.
2 of them are apparently scattered about. There is a small childlike one named Borum.
Borum.
And a creepy lady one. I don't remember.
Lavna.
Please exit. Door is
I
closed.
leave my
behind
headshot on the way out.
Slide it under the door.
Just 17 more questions. Just 17 more questions.
Is your resume stable to the back?
Go for it.
Okay, good.
In the interim,
I put it in an envelope full of confetti. He'll love it.
Yeah, oh my God.
Horseback riding is a special skill. Thank you.
I have my own roller skates.
I can twist
it hurts. Orman Ladna.
Pursue your dreams, everyone watching.
Suffer with the rest of us.
That's the
the worst.
biggest
Don't
sin.
do
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Everything else, give it a shot.
The 2 of you have pursued into the entryway of the theater. The holding entrance where you can see the ticket holders are no longer present, and there are a few people that are lingering and just having conversations. Maybe a half dozen or so that are left in here, but the doors are partially open and people are exiting, and you can see the Dragonborn usher is kind of just making sure that everyone leaves. You catch just kind of fading past into the night air at this time, of which it is a night.
Oh boy, buckle up.
Oh shit! You see what looks to be a similar figure heading off into the night air.
Want to get a little air?
Sounds good. As we're walking through the lobby, too, I just want to kind of keep my ears open to see if I catch any chatter from the audience. If anyone's like, "Where's George?" I don't know.
George? No talk of George, strangely.
Okay.
But a little bit of chatter you catch up on seems to be people going, it was a good show. I just wish maybe it was a bit longer. And somebody else is, oh, I remember when I had a body like that. Many years ago, I could climb and leap with the rest of them, but then I married you. And
Isn't that?
you step out into the night air, and
Take care of yourself.
And it's the city at night, right?
it is the city at night. You can see the temperature is
I want
dropped.
to know more about that.
How did it come to this?
The next hour and a half. The temperature has dropped significantly for the night. It is a bit chilly, and there is a faint mist that is starting to kind of apparate along certain elements of the city around you. Make a perception check for me.
The little ones. What is that? That's a 1. That's not much better. That's 19.
That's real good, though.
Sure.
It's pretty good.
The better one.
Yeah.
I'll roll 2 of them. 3 of them.
Unfortunately, you lost sight of him.
Wow, 19.
Can I roll?
Oh boy.
You know what? Yeah, because
Of course you can.
that's true because you have advantage automatically. So yeah, go ahead and roll separately.
Yeah,
And I got dark vision.
Let's go, Dice roll.
Come on. No, 12.
I think you went.
No, you went that way.
No, I was
Right?
watching him. He was.
Achoo.
I jump 6 feet in the air and try to look over the crowd and then land back down. Shit.
There's a child about your height, who was holding hands with the mom, who's in the mid-conversation on the outside, who's just staring at you, Lane, and goes, cool.
Well.
And just like buries his face into his mom's skirt.
Stay away from the theater, kid. You want to go back inside?
I guess. Well, that was so short-lived.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry. Rolled really high.
Entire time wandering around the theater, wondering where the fuck we went.
All right, I'm gonna try the lower men's room.
I'll try the upper women's room, I
And
guess.
then we'll just cross ways again.
Right.
Okay.
Quickly discovered the bathrooms here are unisex, but yeah.
It's impressive. It's good. Good for them.
You wander a bit trying to... are you looking for the rest of the troop, or are you doing your own investigations here?
I guess we're touring the theater
Yeah,
at this
I guess
point.
we'll
Until we find them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Should we search? Come with me.
all right.
I lead us to the spot where I first spotted the person. And I'm just gonna, on the off chance that they dropped their parking ticket.
Sure, roll an investigation check for me.
17.
17, not bad. They didn't drop anything. You feel confident that you're not missing anything, but they were only... You get the sense that they were only there briefly.
That's a big fat dud.
Yeah, I'm stumped.
You wanna talk to Imogen? See where they're at?
Yes, I'd check in with Imogen. Oh, well, we lost him.
Right as you guys
Whoever
are
they were.
pushed out from the chamber of your conversation, you hear the terrifying whispers of Laudna into your mind.
Oh, perfect timing.
Bong, bong, bong.
Don't do it. Don't start that.
Yeah, we don't want to decide that you like smelled bad or something.
Hey, I'm not the one that's covered in dirt.
Yeah, you introduced yourself as being covered in shit, Liam. It's true.
Cross-campaign wounds.
Go back to episode 1.
We are about to tour their underground storage facility if you would like to join us.
Ooh. They're about to tour the underground storage facility.
Meet you by the... Where are we going?
Underground storage facility?
I don't know where to tell you, but we'll meet you on the ground level.
Should we do, should we come with you, or should we inspect other areas while you're distracted?
No, we've got the run of the place now. So come with us. We could use all the eyes we could get.
All right. Let's meet them downstairs.
All right.
As you gather up in the main theater chamber, is that where you're meeting at?
Yeah. Ground in the main theater chamber. Is that where? That's where we're gonna go.
Sure.
The donor seats.
As you convene there, you see stepping off the stage a kind of human man in his 30s, reddish brown skin, wavy black hair that covers over one eye and goes just past kind of the chin. You can see he has all manner of jewelry that are visible peeking through from underneath the jet black baggier outfit that he's currently wearing over his body. You can see it has like a hood that's placed over the shoulder. Make a history check for me.
Fate, although thou dost not see.
10.
10? Yeah. You don't pick up anything noteworthy or memorable of this, but the figure kind of steps off the stage. All right, so we're supposed to be showing you around, I guess. I'm Ocampo. I'm the stage manager.
Oh, yeah.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for clues.
About?
We know there's been some disappearances around here. We're trying to get a bead on maybe some entrances that we don't know about or exits.
You know about the disappearances, right?
I'm not aware. Yes.
How aware?
Well, I've worked with a couple of them. Three of them if we include the performer, but that was a temporary time. Yeah, why?
I was just trying to figure out if you had something to do with it.
No.
Excuse my friend. I think what she means is, do you have an opinion about perhaps what's been happening? We always ask such specific questions. We never ask the person's feelings. What do you feel happened here?
Very smart.
Thank you for asking.
Blood follows me everywhere.
Look, Usha was a very sweet man, just kind of kept to himself. Make a persuasion check.
That'd be 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, he kind of opens up to you immediately. He's like, Usha was a very, very nice man. Was worked here before I started. I've only been here for about 3-4 years as a stage manager. I was a performer beforehand, just kind of stuck around. He was very nice. He was emphatic in keeping everything clean in and outside of the theater. He kept the surrounding streets clean. He's just very into his work.
Nice like, genuinely nice, or nice like, boy, I always thought he was such a nice guy. Too bad he ate the neighbors, Did
he eat the neighbors?
No. Never mind.
It was very nice, very nice.
No weird vibes.
No, just kept to himself. I was kind of sad vibes, if that makes sense. He was a little lonely.
Not reaction. Without delay.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about Mrs. Caldwell and the other one. I might want to ask Tefta. I know that she had kind of more of a rapport with them. Tefta in general had a little more face time with a lot of the patrons here. I just kind of ran things from behind the stage. I feel bad about Lidney, though. She was very sweet. She'd only been here for a few months. Bright-eyed young woman, you could see she wanted to be an actor herself, and this was kind of, what she thought was her shoe-in. She mentioned it a few times, and I passed it up the chain, and, maybe there was an opportunity down the road to have her in for an audition, and then...
Speak.
So if you wanted an audition, you are the person to talk to about that?
No. I mean, I can pass it along, but all of that goes through Stuvan. He's the one with the eye for talent.
We're in basement storage, right? That's what we
your guys are kind of like walking and talking as you go.
Okay.
You're getting to that space, like pulling out keys and the key ring and starting to situate. And
Did you see Usha or Lidney the night they went missing? Do you have any memory of it?
I did. Yeah, I think I did. Yes.
Do you remember where they were when you last saw them?
Usha was just doing his usual rounds, cleaning the inside, cleaning the outside. It's kind of his business.
And Lidney was at the bar?
Lidney was at the bar. She was very nice. She's a very quiet girl. Kind of kept to herself on her breaks.
Where did she go on her breaks?
I don't know specifically. I think maybe outside. I don't know for certain, but you could smell on her clothes sometimes. I think she enjoyed partaking in the burning of various tobaccos.
All right.
Usha, the first to disappear. As janitor, did he have keys, a master key? Did he have access to all of the theater?
Yeah, who all had keys to the theater?
I would be, between me, Stuvan, and Tefta would be the only three with access to the entire theater. Usha would have had access to the front door and all of the central chambers, but the offices and the storage basement he would not have had keys to.
Can't give up now.
All right. What type of performer did you used to? What did you do?
Oh, well, I was a actor.
Oh.
And a poet, depending on what was required of me at the time.
Wow. Very cool.
Impromptu poetry or rehearsed?
Oh, I was reading other people's poetry. I guess orator should be the specific term. I did not write my poetry, but I was very good at speaking other people's words.
Forensics.
Sure.
Cool.
Anyway, and opens the door, and you can see the staircase descends into a lightless expanse below.
This is always the creepiest part of a theater.
Goes ahead and reaches up and grabs a lantern and kind of like turns, and you can see the wick kind of light a bit and pulls the oil lantern down. You're coming?
Yeah.
Before we plunge, I would like to hang back as everyone's going down and just take one last scan of the house and anything I can see from the stage and see if I can clock Cyrus.
Yeah, make a perception check.
17.
Not bad. You do a thorough scan in a short period of time, feeling confident that looking within the inside, no sign of Cyrus.
I get unnaturally close to him. What are you looking for?
Oh, Jesus. To make...
Did you see something?
No, I was just making sure everyone made it out safely from the fire.
We lost that creepy guy really quick.
Oh, good. Yes.
Sure. Well,
no, not... Oh,
I mean...
He lost us. You lost him?
Well, it's a fascinating way, because it depends on how you phrase it, I guess.
I suppose if he was a threat, we lost him, but if you were after him, he lost you.
Makes you think.
Are you coming?
Yes.
Right.
I tread behind everyone in the dark, say, Macbeth.
I attack.
You've doomed us.
Well,
I whistle a jaunty tune.
Don't think I didn't think about there being some sort of a curse laid on this theater.
Let's just say it's very personal.
So you descend, following into the basement area here, and with the light that you can see curling from the lantern, there are large cases, like luggage compartments and locked boots that have bits of costumes like spilling out on the side of where they are closed. You can see there is cobwebs everywhere. This is the graveyard of performances past, where props and portions of stage decor and flats are kind of just left and forgotten in the far end. It is truly nightmarish without context, and still creepy with context, to see just this odd arrangement of nonsensically fit together colors and shapes and furniture and masks and, partial creature bodies and crowns and weird human faces that are painted over, and all lit by the singular lantern as he passes through and over it.
Never been so comfortable anywhere in my entire life.
Or I'm specifically looking for anything that is not looks like it's been moved, disturbed, not covered in dust.
Ocampo turns. Oh.
Keep yours lit as well, by all means.
Mm-hmm. So, here is where we store the things when they're not being used. We generally keep a central pathway here, and he kind of begins to describe
that chest. Wait.
He tries to describe how well organized it is, but the more he describes it, you can see he's beginning to admit that it's not very well organized. And he's like, I was meaning to change that out. That needs to be moved. There was a space here, but that fell off the top, and we just never got around to. It's not usually like this.
It's clearly always.
Yeah. No one's check.
But make a perception check. Perception or investigation, your choice.
In general, is everything pushed up against the walls, or is there openings around where the walls are for fire lane?
No, this is very much not fire safe. Everything is pushed up against the walls.
Oof.
21.
21.
Code.
One expected way.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can see where certain pieces of equipment have been shifted and moved. It's not like this room is left abandoned the entire time. A lot of things that are put into storage and then brought out for other performances are dragged in and out. You can see certain regions of the room are left to far more dust and decay comparatively, and the areas that are closer to the door have a lot less dust, and you can see are placed in specifically there because they get the most used, and those involve like chairs and tables, kind of generalized furniture that can be utilized for multiple different types of performances, as well as general costumes. You can see one space where it looks like it has outfits that have almost a Isilra design to them, colder and furred based. You can see some that look almost they might lean a little bit towards the Dundalian Empire. You can see the reds and golds. There are all these different, like, kind of cheap versions of different cultural locations from around Exandria that have all been kind of just left off to die in the shaded corners of the chamber.
There's a two-person bear costume here. What the fuck is that? Hate to be the back.
But no No signs of rock scatter from shade creeper holes anywhere along the edges.
Do you want to do a thorough inspection of it?
I want to like start tapping the walls with the hammer just to see if anything gives a sound, things like that.
Okay.
The crate has been.
Yeah. No time to dally.
Going throughout the room, you do not see any
My
signs
faith
of
protects
such
me.
holes or exits or anything that would
On I
be
go.
akin to what you had previously encountered dealing with the shade creepers.
I try on a hat.
Worth a try.
It's a little big on you. It kind of like falls past your eyes, but it still is kind of good. You guys see this wide, like brim dark hat, not unlike what, commonly see Robbie wearing.
What?
That just kind of, it drifts past his eyes like a child trying on his dad's Woody costume.
Guys, look how handsome I am.
You look great.
I'm going to try and gently injure one of the tables or chairs just to see if it reacts. It's not like it wouldn't have helped before.
You're really traumatized.
That's my world upside down.
Injure it gently. Real Steve.
It like scrapes across the ground. The table that you smack on the side, you can see it leans to one way, and where the table is kind of nailed in, or the leg is nailed in, it's now bent slightly to one side, but it doesn't seem to react otherwise.
Is there like a prop chest or a
There are a
prop
handful of
shelf?
prop chests around here, yeah?
I want
Not a
something.
budge. Let's take a look around.
Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Let's go, Klepto.
Lobna mends the table that was just injured by Ashton.
Snaps back into place.
5.
If you was freaked out, you would have been really happy.
Okay.
I've wished to live in more
You open up
interesting times.
a chest, and
Still
immediately
nothing.
glancing down inside, you can see what
How
looks
much
to be
farther
just
can I go?
piles and piles of white lace dresses.
What'd you find?
It's Ashley's closet.
They appear white, and then you get a little closer and look at it, and they've kind of yellowed with time, slightly, but they look to be, designed in a
next,
way
I wonder?
to exhibit nobility, not a Marquesian nature or history, but from some further off land in Exandria.
Everything looks new.
Definitely theater decadent, where it looks beautiful, and the closer you get, you're like, oh, this is meant to function as a costume, just seen from a distance.
This is the most beautiful dress I've ever seen. I'm gonna take it.
Roll a sleight of hand, yeah.
Eager for battle.
It's got Velcro.
Probably not.
9.
You notice that Ocampo has
Got a
the
long road
lantern
ahead.
facing the other way and is like, I'm not entirely certain what you're looking for,
I'm ready.
but, take your time. Doesn't notice anything.
Looking in a mirror.
Does not notice at all.
He is
not very lazy.
Rolled very low.
Wow. I'm gonna go up to fresh cut grass.
Did you learn anything?
I was gone.
We learned that. Oh, that's right. You weren't with us. We learned there's been a series of disappearances, and there's about 6 people missing.
6.
They have no obvious relation to each other, other than the fact that they all disappeared here either during or after a show. Also, just learned that there's a whole stack of cat costumes back there. Yeah, they look very jellical.
I grab one.
Why do they all have little buttholes sewn onto it?
They look added later, but then some of them look like they were taken off.
That was not my artistic vision. That was specifically Stuvan's interest to try and rebrand the show. It's not great. I do not recommend it.
Look, this one wears Converse.
Oh,
So weird. Interesting choice.
Well, have you found what you're looking for?
No, not at all. We were looking for some sort of entrances or exits down here, but there are none.
No, I mean, that's where we came in.
Does this cover everything? This is the only chamber down
I could
here.
get
There's
used
no
to
other
this.
levels, no other chambers.
No, this is not
Indolence
like
breeds
a
madness.
quorum fortress. We're a theater
An
troupe.
efficient path.
Are there any other rarely used areas? Fly space, other areas?
Yeah, sometimes I'm told in the theater two performers might become amorous with each other and maybe sneak off to somewhere unseen so they can canoodle.
FCG?
I will take my pick.
This is my first day rolling around, is it?
To go off your question, you're in that room. Which, by the way, don't touch that table.
That's why it was so wobbly.
It looks suspicious.
Curious.
But as far as other spaces, like there are rafters above the stage. There is, Tefta's in her office probably for the next hour or so.
We did want to do a full investigation.
Of course, yeah.
Start with Tefta and then fan out through the whole theater.
Yeah. Is there like
Let's
a
get
staff
on with
break
it.
room at all, or?
Green room?
I love.
Kind of.
How
It's in the
tempting.
backstage. Sure. I'll take you there. Leads you back up, closes and locks the door behind, and leads you to the a pathway, a hallway that you didn't see that is kind of like the back side of the theater that leads to the backstage. And you can see there is a green room that is literally just the back part of the stage. And there, Kendra's Flying Lauders are all there with like it looks like a glass bottle of some sort of brandy in the middle that is like half drinking, and they're all kind of laughing a bit and telling stories and having drinks, and they're kind of just winding down. You get the sense that most of the space in this dreamscape theater
Something
is for
over there.
patrons, and everyone else backstage just kind of figures it out with what space they got. It's not bad, but as you approach, you see like some of them raise their glasses over towards you and kind of on the opposite side of the chamber and keep talking amongst themselves. So this is our backstage. This is where the ladders go up to the rafters this way. This is where we control the curtains and any sorts of, for their performance points of view, you can see like where there are the trapeze, hanging swings and all the various elements there. You can see where the ropes attach and let them down. I handle these along with Tina and Evan, who, after taking tickets, come and help me with everything backstage. What else can I show you?
Is there an area that the staff would be able to access to get to like a back alley or anything?
There is, yes. Yeah, that is kind of walks to the back hallway that led you into the backstage, and you can see there is a door that exits out into the back alley. So this leads into, there's an alley that runs entirely around the building upstairs in the front here, and you recall like there's the large wall of the spire,
let's see.
Not immediately butted against the alley. There are some buildings in between, but there's a lot of dense buildings in the vicinity, and the theater just kind of stands out in the middle of it all, like it's carved its own little kingly space in this neighborhood.
Can I look around the alley and around the door and see if I can find any areas that, like I see little cigarette butts or anything drop to the ground?
You can, yeah.
God.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Gross.
Perception or investigation check, your choice.
Okay.
Let's see what we have here.
Why do I suck? That would be guidance. Well, it's not going to make any difference. That's a 4. But we'll try it anyway. 5 plus 4.
So 9. You got it.
Isn't that a 9? No, that's a 2. That's a 9!
That's a 9.
Hey, that's 9 plus 3 is 12. Plus 4 is 16.
Whoa,
That's motion roller coaster there. Yeah. Okay. Stepping out.
Don't suck. Thanks, Ashley.
The heavy door has a few locks on it, and Kempo opens it, and it leads you out into the alleyway behind. You can see there's like a bit of a street divot in the center, so that any sort of rain can run itself off into the main road. Kind of brick side elements of the alley. It smells a bit musty, but like any other alley here in the city, you can see there's some kind of discarded bits of refuse and some construction materials that have been left abandoned from unseen projects there. It looks like any alley. Kind of looking around the space, you don't see anything directly around the door that would resemble any sort of paraphernalia or leftover materials from a person who is smoking.
Okay.
Let's go talk to Tefta.
All right, I'll show you to her office. Kempo brings you up on the opposite side, what you can sense, as far as the structure is for the main theater itself, the opposite end of where Stuvan's office is, there is a secondary office. Okamo kind of knocks on it. Tefta, I have those visitors that Stuvan said are to ask questions about. And a voice inside goes,
All right, let them in.
Door opens. Immediately as the door opens, you smell this strong, flowery perfume that just like a punch of Sephora just hits you as a wave. The door opens up on the inside. There is an office that is decorated in garish pinks and yellows. And you can see on this, not even a desk, but like a curved table, an older gnomish woman who looks to be, what would be the human equivalents of her 50s or so, later 50s, in this like curled, almost beehive hair that looks like it's bright, vibrant red, but you can see it's graying at the edges that you can't tell if that's natural or the dye is fading. She has these elongated glasses that come to horned edges, and just the makeup is glorious in the extravagant use of blush and reds to match the hair tone. The dress is almost flapper-tastic in the tassels that hang from it. And you can see there's a bunch of books and pages and ledgers and other things around, and what looks to be a collection box of coins. And you can see gold and silver that immediately kind of shifts underneath something before turning. How can I help y'all?
Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood.
Oh, hello.
Can't afford to stay idle.
Handsome little boy. Come here. I'm Tefta.
No time to waste.
We don't have a name. We're doing.
We need a name.
We really do need a
That's
name.
a side issue.
That is a Brandon 101 mistake, I say. What did it go on?
Well, we're patrons of the arts and also concerned citizens, and we understand that there's been some, and I'm sorry if this is a sensitive subject, but disappearances around the theater.
Indeed. Very sad, very mysterious.
Can I detect thoughts?
Certainly.
I didn't.
Actually, I know.
Careful, Lae'zel.
catch-
It's dark around here.
You catch
Would be a
waves
terrible
of
shame to lose you forever.
curiosity upon the first bit,
Blackets will
then
be done.
sadness, then
Without delay.
an aroused curiosity.
Just so.
She leans forward and says,
Well, we're very lucky to have a bunch of handsome helpers coming through here to discover what mysteries might unfold.
See, the theater. It's full of randy people.
It's true. I apologize. I imagine that everyone who works here has answered these questions tenfold, but we're really trying to uncover every last stone in the place.
Of course, honey, of course.
You got
You
this.
got this.
You got this.
Come on. Such tedium. No blades, no battle cries. Tyrell, one pebble many.
Yep. Can you take us back to the beginning of all this? Does anything stick out in your mind? Does the owner here or anyone have any enemies?
Make a persuasion check.
Not great. 10 even.
10. She goes,
Well, I mean, Stuvan has made a number of enemies through the years, usually performers that made promises they couldn't keep and were paid accordingly.
My Vash spoke bitterly of Tyrell.
No matter how
Harmless
nice
to a
some folks
fault,
try
she
and
said.
present their skill. Maybe they hold grudges. But anyway.
Is it possible to try to probe a little bit deeper as she's...
She's thinking the same thing.
you probe deeper, and the thoughts within her mind go to, this is a strange looking crew, but
Nothing.
if I can
What's the
pry
point of a
little
button
pinch
so
about
near
it,
the
I'll say whatever
ground?
they want me to.
plenty of enemies.
But it doesn't sound like enough to push to violence.
I certainly hope not. I mean, something like that for this long takes talent, and honey, let me tell you, none of them had any.
What did you
Punch Imogen
do?
in the thigh.
Did you? I mean, you have such a performer essence.
Oh, me? No, I am not a girl for the stage. I got a mind for business and coin, honey.
Oh.
Look,
She's so theatrical.
one does not have to be, and I mean this.
New sounds to the other pressure break.
But
is it the following? Profound, contemptuous
oh, I can see a performer when they walk
know
before.
these words. They are from the
But you don't
opening
have to be
stanza of a
pushing for
play
talent
you
to be
found in
talented.
this very
That does not mean you
tower.
have to push yourself upon other people with your persona to be effective. I'm a shrewd businesswoman. I look past the lies of others, and I know how to get contracts situated and set. I know
Out of love for me, not love for blood and
I'm
sin.
so intimidated by her. She's amazing.
Command
And now
is
you
given,
know how to work out.
my lord, my liege.
I don't know what to do.
You're flustered.
I'm going to command that I cannot fulfill.
That's gotta be a problem.
Yeah?
I'm going to command that I cannot fulfill.
3 missing patrons.
Yeah, well, he's a
Repositioning.
curious fella, but if you ask me, it's not entirely unknown that Miss Eden Caldwell and Mr. O'Neill are carrying on an affair.
Eden and Amir.
Is it possible they went off to have a rendezvous in the middle of the show?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. This is where they came to meet up. In fact, often during intermission is when they would go ahead and go someplace no one will find them.
Have sexy time somewhere?
No, I assumed it was going to get a drink and talk about their day.
Would that be...
Sexy.
Oh, okay.
So sexy time usually happens in the storage, I
They
meant...
can't get to the stores. They don't have a key.
Oh, well then where would they go?
I don't know, someplace where no one will find them.
On the premises, you think, though?
I imagine. I'm not far from it.
So we gotta find a place that even the actors didn't know to go to Bone.
All right, so we got to think about, we got to get in the headspace of people that need to.
So we all
somebody-
just have to think Randy thoughts for a
Please
while.
please don't. Like, I don't want to know.
Around Image.
We have to find the bozo, for sure.
Well, and you mentioned this, Yarden.
Better
What
get to
was
it.
their deal?
Eden?
No, there was another one.
There's an Yarden.
Yeah, he's a young man.
Yarden, is that what his name was?
Yeah, I put
He
I
generally
didn't
picked up
know.
whatever the cheapest tickets were and negotiated
find
his
some
way
names
to a dirt poor seat, but popped in every here and there. At first, we weren't sure if he was just an enjoyer of the arts, and I think part of it was, but also he got in trouble twice, because I caught him selling some Kepper dust to some of our patrons.
Kepper dust?
Kepper?
Kepper dust, yeah.
Kepper dust.
For those, not from the streets, what is Kepper dust?
I mean, I never had the stuff myself, but from what I heard, it's just something that, it's like a snuff that takes you on a trip for a while.
And what does it look like?
I don't know, I never seen it.
All right, so that Yarden was here buying or selling Kepper dust?
Selling Kepper dust, but he got in
Kepper
trouble. We told him he had to take it off the premises, so
And where would he go to sell?
I don't know. He wasn't selling it in here.
So three of the vanished were into sort of illicit, sneaky things. What about the others, the performers and the janitor?
Yeah, what do
The
you know about
bartender.
Sino who came through?
Sino, look, I don't mean to be a receptacle for so much hearsay, but it does keep me interested amongst business. Sino was a bit of a drunkard, if you ask me. Showed up to a few performances a bit high on the sauce and caused a few arguments when they first set up their performances. There was a bit of a scuffle, I won't say a scuffle, but a loud confrontation the night that they finished his final performance before he drunkenly wandered off. Last anyone ever saw of him.
Confrontation with who?
The rest of his performers.
He left the theater that night.
possible.
The Diamond Mask. What was the name of the crew?
The Diamond Masks.
The Diamond Mask, yeah.
So, they were in residence when these disappearances, when Usha left. They were here?
They were.
And did they move on to another theater, or...?
They did. They packed up their things and left. They figured that he probably left, and after the argument, maybe went and found his fortunes elsewhere. They had an understudy who, to be perfectly honest, was far more talented than that Sino fellow. Fit the costumes better, too. But once he was gone, they seemed to move on quickly, and I don't know where they found themselves here in Marquette ever since.
And Lydney?
Yeah, Lydney. Sweet girl. Didn't make friends often. Kind of just did her thing. She was a good employee. You could tell she was still kind of coming out of her shell before she disappeared. Sad.
Gotta find that secret spot.
Sounds like everyone was loners.
Right.
Everyone.
Sounds like people leaving the theater.
Yeah.
Got a-
Something.
Well, you got a lover's tryst, an entrepreneurial spirit, someone going out to smoke, and an actor left in a huff.
Is there a rooftop or a balcony or
There's
a?
gotta be.
At least there's an alley. But the access to that is backstage, so it would...
Yeah.
When the alley itself runs around the building, people can access it. You can
I don't
raise it
care
from
what
that
others
point.
say
We do
about the
have a
Underdark.
rooftop, but that's
It's
inaccessible
beautiful
to anyone
down
who doesn't
here.
work here either.
I'm used to a crypt's gloom.
Empty rooms, offices that aren't used.
And everything here that's not in use is just the open space for the patrons. It's my office, backstage, Stuvan's office, and the storage facility. Everything else is just meant for the performance area.
And the restrooms?
Oh, and the restrooms too, but...
Where did Amir need him to sit, traditionally?
Didn't Stuvan say that they sat in our box?
Our box.
Oh, you some box spinning patrons. Thank you.
Well, I feel like we should just look around.
We should look around. I think we should check out that alley more. I didn't really get a good look.
We should look near the box.
Yeah, near the restrooms.
Is it okay if we give like a thorough look around, really put this to bed?
Anything you want, honey.
Where would you go in here if you wanted to, you know, engage in a little hanky-panky with someone? Where would you
mean where have I gone?
Yes, but you can't say the basement. Because that's a given.
Oh, honey, how do I narrow it down? I've left my mark up and down this theater.
Oh.
Cast black light.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Where would you go? Or where would it make sense to?
Well, I have access to everywhere, so I go everywhere.
All right, but meaning if you were, you know, Amir Eden, where would you go?
I mean, likely out the restrooms or elsewhere.
Doesn't
Not a whole
look
lot of
like I
places
can
of
light
privacy around
these.
these parts.
At least not by normal means.
Restroom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good place to look.
So Yadin or Yad, what is it?
Yadin.
Yadin. I heard
What
that
now?
he came here a lot. Was there a
Trust
specific
no one.
place that he would sit?
Yadin, he would just take whatever seats were available and he would negotiate it down.
Maintenance breeds
Take
madness.
the leftovers, if you will. Wasn't a young boy of much means.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Going outside and buy or sell product, though, is not insane.
Need something?
Selling in the restroom also not insane.
Also not insane.
Should we split up and go scour the theater before the next show starts?
How long do we have before the next show starts?
She kind of glances over and you can see there's a glass sphere on the edge of her table that you can see it turning to like a darker tint to it. Say got about an hour and a half
Let's see
before
what the day
start
brings.
opening the doors.
One more question.
Mm-hmm.
One word.
Oh, enough waiting.
First
I
word
crave
that
blood.
pops into your head when you look at
An
us.
efficient path.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Lucky.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Good word.
Flackets will be
Feels
done.
like we're getting further and further from a name.
You're right. I think you're right.
Just getting steered in every
We're in
direction.
trouble.
No time to rest.
Truckle.
Anything else I can help you all with?
Another step forward.
We'll get out of your hair. Let's just go.
Exactly levels.
Well, good luck, and if you're ever curious about some of our special memberships, there are.
You know, I think this is where I should end things. I keep looking over at my second monitor and I'm just having too many issues, so I might come back. I don't know. As of right now, though, I can't keep running it. I don't know what's going on, so much of my CPU just go all over the place. So for tonight, guys, that's gonna be it. Unfortunately, we are halfway through with the episode 7, so we'll start off with there next time. Sorry again, guys.